What happens when one of Hollywood's most beloved actors collides with late-night television's most provocative host in a confrontation no one expected? What began as a routine appearance quickly unraveled into a tense, unforgettable clash that would leave audiences stunned and spark conversations across the industry. The night started as any other taping of Jimmy Kimmel Live. Fans were buzzing with anticipation for the appearance of Keanu Reeves, who was there to promote his latest action film. Backstage, however, tensions were quietly building. Sources revealed that Jimmy Kimmel had grown increasingly irritated by what he saw as Reeves' overly curated nice guy image, calling it fake in meetings with his writers. As Keanu walked on stage, he greeted the audience with his trademark humility and warmth. Kimmel began the interview with polite small talk praising the new film, joking about motorcyclism, but there was an edge behind his words. Observers noted that his smile didn't quite reach his eyes. "So Keanu," Kimmel said, his voice laced with something sharp beneath its smooth surface, "you've built quite the reputation as Hollywood's nice guy. Some might say it's almost too perfect. Wouldn't you agree?" Reeves shifted slightly, maintaining his calm demeanor. "I just try to treat people the way I'd want to be treated, Jimmy. Nothing complicated about that." Kimmel pressed on, "But come on. Nobody's that genuine all the time. What's the real Keanu like when the cameras aren't rolling?" Reeves stayed poised, but a subtle tension entered his expression. "I think what you see is what you get. Honestly, I'm not putting on an act." That wasn't enough for Kimmel, who leaned forward. "That's exactly what someone putting on an act would say, isn't it?" A murmur passed through the audience. This wasn't the playful tone of a typical interview. Reeves's publicist backstage sensed things were going off the rails. Keanu replied calmly, but with a steeliness behind his voice. "I'm not sure I understand what you're getting at." Kimmel smirked. "I'm just saying, the whole humble, down-to-earth thing, a broken bar, the giving millions to charity, treating crew like family, it's all very convenient for your image." The crowd went quiet. Reeves studied Kimmel with the same focus he might use to prepare for a complex fight scene. "You think my charity work is a publicity stunt?" "I think Hollywood's full of people who do nice things because it looks good," Kimmel replied. "Not because they care." "Manipulated," Reeves repeated, the word heavy with challenge. Kimmel leaned into what he thought was hard-hitting honesty. "This whole persona you've built a brilliant marketing. But let's be real about what it is." Then Reeves responded, not as a performer, but as someone fed up with the charade. "You want honesty, Jimmy? Let's talk about a host who built his career making fun of people, who turns their struggles into punchlines. You want to question my authenticity? Let's question yours." Kimmel paled. The shift was undeniable. Reeves continued, "How authentic is it to invite someone on your show just to ambush them? To attack their character because you're jealous of the respect they've earned?" The studio fell into stunned silence. Kimmel's writers signaled desperately to cut to commercial, but it was too late. He tried to retake control. "I'm not jealous. I'm just tired of everyone pretending you're some saint. That's impossible in this business." Reeves stood slowly, deliberate and calm. "You know what's impossible? Spending years trying to do something real only to have someone tear it down for entertainment." Kimmel faltered. "Look, maybe we should take a break." "No," Reeves said firmly. "You wanted the real me? Here it is." What followed wasn't an outburst. It was a masterclass in controlled truth. Reeves's voice gathered momentum. "You talk about manipulation? What do you call this? You brought me here under false pretenses just to humiliate me. And you think that makes you a truth teller?" "I'm just doing my job," Kimmel said weakly. This is what interviews area challenging, Prebinger. Your job, Reeves repeated, tone low and full of disdain, is supposed to be entertaining people, not tearing others down for sport. Kimmel tried another angle. I'm asking the questions everyone's thinking. Are you? Reeves replied. Or are they just the questions you're thinking because you can't imagine someone actually caring without an agenda? Kimmel flushed. For the first time, his tilde sectionade cracked. You don't know anything about me, eh? I know you've made a career mocking people. I know you've turned pain into punchlines. I know you've never used your platform to help without making it about you. That's when Kimmel, out of desperation, crossed a line that silenced the room. Let's talk about how you've used your dead girlfriend's memory to build sympathy for yourself. The audience gasped. A cameraman lowered his rig. Even Kimmel's team looked stunned. Reeves went still. Get up, he said. Kimmel blinked. What? I said, get up. Keanu, yeah. You just used the death of someone I loved to hurt me, Reeves said, calm but unmistakably commanding. So I'll ask one more time. Get up. The tension in the room was electric. Kimmel's bravado faded. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not asking you to fight, Reeves replied. I'm asking you to show some respect. Stand up when you talk about the dead. Kimmel stayed seated. Reeves, clearly disappointed, asked, You know the difference between us? When life knocked me down, I learned to value what matters. When it knocked you down, you started knocking others with you. Kimmel tried to spin it. This is all an act, righteous anger, moral superiority. It's your brand. Reeves shook his head, a quiet sadness in his voice. The fact that you think genuine emotion has to be an act says everything about you. Turning to the audience, breaking late-night protocol, Reeves said, I came here to promote a movie. To bring you something joyful. Instead, you had to sit through this. I'm sorry. You deserved better. The crowd erupted this time not for a joke, but for integrity. Reeves walked towards the exit. Kimmel, scrambling, shouted, Where do you think you're going? Reeves turned. Somewhere people know the difference between entertainment and cruelty. You can't just walk off. There are rules. Kimmel cried. Your show. Your rules, Reeves replied. My dignity. My choice. Kimmel, in a final act of desperation, yelled, Security, stop him. But the guards hesitated. Reeves wasn't the aggressor. The chief of security approached. Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to return to your seat. I understand, Reeves said. But I won't sit back down just to be insulted. Kimmel barked, He's disrupting the show. The chief glanced at Reeves, then Kimmel. Sir, this man hasn't committed any crime. He's not a threat. I won't touch him. The audience erupted in applause again. Panicked, Kimmel shouted at his team, If you don't stop him, you're all fired. But the threat fell flat. Even the security team had had enough. One of them said quietly, We're not putting our hands on a man for refusing to be humiliated. Kimmel tried one last desperate move. This is going out live. The network! Reeves stopped, turned back. In 5 minutes, this show ends. You'll still be here. But tonight, you had a choice. You could have had a real conversation. Instead, you mocked grief, attacked integrity, and tried to force someone to accept it. He looked straight into the camera. Everyone watching can decide what that says about you. And what it says about who they want to be. And with that, he walked off stage to a standing ovation. Kimmel, left alone, could only stammer, Well folks, a broken bar that was certainly unexpected. But the spell was broken. The rest of the show dragged on awkwardly. The damage was done. The night wasn't remembered for jokes or a film promotion. It was remembered as the moment a man stood up calmly, resolutely, and with integrity for something more important than fame, basic human decency.